Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy Carlos Music, and I'm back with another tutorial. That's right, another tutorial. Now, in this tutorial, we'll be studying Billy Joel's Just the Way You Are. Now, just a timeless classic, phenomenal song. Hey, look, I'll do my best to interpret these chords and progressions, and if it can help anybody with this song, then I'm all for it. Let's get to it. All right, here we go. Another good study here, right? Some really good chords, really good movements in this song from none other than the piano man himself. Get that, right? So let's try this intro, or rather do this intro, right? And then, well, let's do the intro and then the opening verse, and then I'll break down what's going on. All right, here we go. Don't go changing to try and please me. You never let me down before. Don't imagine you're too familiar, and I don't see you anymore. I would not leave you in times of trouble. We never could have come this far. I took the good times, I'll take the bad times. I love you just the way you are. All right. How nice is that? How nice are those movements, right? So what we start off with is this, right? So you got the D, A, D, right? And if you, in case you're wondering what sound this is, I tried to get as close as I could to the Wurlitzer with the phaser on it. Sounds like he has a phaser on the Wurlitzer with a little reverb. But I tried to get as close as I could to that Wurlitzer with the phaser pedal on it, right? So D, A, D, and then we're going to hit this G major chord, right? So D in the bass, of course, B in the right hand, D, G, right? You see that move? So first D, A, D, A, D, A, D, right? So now that first chord is going to be the same G major chord, right? Or it's rather the second chord, right? It's going to be that same G major chord, just a different inversion, D, G, B, right? So, and now we come down to this D major, right? So that's still that D in the bass, D in the right hand, F sharp, A, right? So, and then you hear this going into that verse, right? And it's going to stay on that D major. And I just changed the inversion, right? A, D, F sharp. So F sharp, E, F sharp, right? So if we're doing that last one, right? Then we'll go to this B minor 6, right? B in the bass, A flat in the right hand, D, F sharp, right? So what you're doing is if you're on this D major, you're just going to move this A to an A flat and the bass to a B, right? So, right, everybody see that? Don't go changing, right? And then we're here, G major 7, right? G in the bass, G in the right hand, B, D, F sharp. Right? So we got that first chord. Don't go changing, right? Da da da. So we'll go to this B minor chord, but he'll do this, what I kind of hear there, right? So you're gonna move that B to the C, right? Right, and then go back to the G major 7, B flat major, right? So B flat in the bass, F in the right hand, B flat, D, F, right? So go back to the beginning. Don't go changing. Da 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 da. Right, then we'll go to this F sharp minor 7. F sharp in the bass, A in the right hand, D flat, E. Really good move, right? So A minor 7, A in the bass, G in the right hand, C, E. D7 with a 9, D in the bass, F sharp in the right hand, C, E. So if you notice you're in that A minor 7, you're just gonna move this G down to the F sharp and the A to a D in the bass, right? So if we're here, F sharp minor 7, right? And then we're back to this G major 7, B flat major, F sharp minor 7, and this time we're gonna go to a B7 with a 9, B in the bass, A in the right hand, D flat, E flat, right? So, right? We're gonna go to this D major with the E in the bass, E in the bass, A in the right hand, D, F sharp, right? Right? See that move? Remember that move from the beginning? Right? So that if you're in this D major, you're moving this A to the A flat, but we're staying on this E, right? So we're gonna, right? That's gonna be an E7 with a 9, E in the bass, A flat in the right hand, D, F sharp, and then we come here. That G major 7 with an A in the bass. A in the bass, G in the right hand, B, D, F sharp. Right? So we're doing that move. Right? Love you anymore. Do this. Right? So if you're here, G major 7 with an A in the bass, I'm just doing this G, A, and that's still that G major chord, different inversion, D, G, B, another different inversion, G, B, D, right? So once again, right, B7 with a 9, I don't love you anymore, right? And we're right back. Minor 7, right? Then go to the B7 with a 9 and getting out of it. I love you just the way you are. Right? So we'll do this E minor 7 with a 9, right? And the G major, the A in the bass. Just the way you are. Back to the intro. Right? So that's that verse. Now it's going to go into another verse, and it's going to do the very same thing, the same movements, right? Same progression, right? And then we're going to come out of that, of course, and we'll make it, I love you just the way you are, right? This is the second time. Right? Now I hear just a slight difference because we're about to go into the change. So when you're doing this intro, right? This right before going into the change, right? Right? So it's a G6 with a 9, right? With this D in the bass, right? So of course, this is going to have something to do with the chord. So if you're just hitting this as an E minor chord with a D in the bass, right? But that A brings it to a G6 with a 9 and D in the bass. But we don't want to pay attention to that, right? So we're coming out of. So you notice there, we just have this G major chord to the D major chord, right? And then we're about to go into the change, right? So we have this E, G, B, E, F sharp, A. Just a little slight thing that I hear there. I hear it. If you don't, maybe you can give me the proper movement, but that's what I hear going right into that chain, right? And then in that change, we're gonna, right? So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll go into the change, and I'll break down what's going on to the change, right? Inside the change, excuse me. You need to know that you will always be the same old someone that I knew. What will it take till you believe in me the way that I believe in you? And then we're back, right? So like in that change, right? So we're doing that last. That slight difference there, and then we'll go into our G major 7. We have the notes to that. Know that you will love, right? Going to that A major, right? A in the bass, A in the right hand, D flat E, F minor 7, right? We have the notes to that. B7 with a 9, E minor 7 with a 9, G major with the A in the bass, D major. Now all these chords we have. Then we go to this passing chord, this C major. C in the bass, G in the right hand, C, E, down to our B flat major. B flat in the bass, F in the right hand, B flat, D, F. Right, so. Right, go back to the C major, to the A minor 7, right? So A in the bass, G in the right hand, C, E, right? And this time I hear it going to the D major, because usually when we're in that A minor 7, we go to this D7 with a 9. But this time in that change, I hear it going from the A minor 7 to the D major, and then G minor 7, right? Now remember, we always was hitting that G major 7, but he goes to a G minor 7. Slick, 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 slick. Right, so G in the bass, F in the right hand, B flat, D, F. Back to that G major with the A in the bass. And that move there, right? And then we're back to the verse. Right? Same thing. Your hair. Right? Right? Love you just right? And there's going to be a sax solo. Now, what that sax solo is going to do is just going to be that verse, right? So, right? Right? sax solo. Remember that? Then he'll come back in with his vocal, right? Sax solo is the first part, the first half of the verse, and then back to the vocal. Right? 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 So when you hear those parts, now I know I'm not doing everything in the correct order, but when you hear those parts, like I'm giving you the chords. Now, if you're listening and you hear those parts, you know what you're playing, right? Now, there's going to be a part in the song where he breaks it down, right? So, just the keyboard and the vocal, right? E minor 7 with a 9. Now it's gonna go to that like a second bridge, right? Going to that B flat major, C major, A minor 7, right? Now remember when we go to that A minor 7, we usually go to that D7 with a 9, but that's just in the verse. But right here on that change, right, we're doing that. I love you just the way you are. Right, that change. Another change, right? D major, right? And then it go to the top of that verse. Now, the top of the intro and that verse, right? So remember that part right there is just a not so tricky, but a little tricky, right? So we're doing I love you just today. B flat major, C major, A minor 7, D major, G minor 7, A7 with a 9, right? So I hear that chord in there. It could be, but I hear the chord G minor 7, A7 with a 9, A in the bass, G in the right hand, B, D flat, right? So, and then it goes back to the same thing. We're right back there. Right? Right there. So once again, when we're coming out of that breakdown, the keys and the vocals. I love you just the way you are. Right? G minor 7, A7 with a 9, then right back to the top. Right? That's the entire song, people. Look, I hope this helps you. And if it helps you, why don't you like the video, share the video, comment on the video, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell. Hey, look, it's Carlos Music, and I'm out.